Today, we are exploring an absolutely mind-bending intersection of ideas. We're unpacking the work of independent researcher Danny Goler. He's proposing this fascinating bridge between cognitive physics, the psychedelic substance DMT, and simulation theory. Goler's theories suggest that the very fabric of our universe might actually be built on a visible, computational language. It's a wild ride, so let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. At the very core of Gobler's research is a claim that brings, well, massive ontological shock. He's talking about the idea that a self-executing code is running invisibly on every single physical surface of our reality. He proposes that our universe is essentially computationally rendered, and under highly specific conditions, the raw data generating our physical world can actually be seen with the naked eye. Section 1. The code in the wall. To understand exactly how Goler arrived at this, we first have to look at the physical mechanics of his central discovery. This brings us to what is now known as the veil break experiment. Goler claims to have discovered a shockingly simple, repeatable protocol to make this hidden code visible. The process goes like this. You shine a low-output red laser, specifically under 5 milliwatts, onto a wall, consume DMT, and just observe. What's absolutely crucial here is the consistency of the setup. Goler notes that this effect is highly specific to DMT. Other substances, like ketamine for example, completely fail to produce this visual phenomenon. It's like a flashlight revealing a hidden object in the dark. You see, when observers move the laser, the code on the wall doesn't move with it. Instead, the laser acts exactly like that flashlight, sweeping across a dark room, illuminating an ancient, symbolic structure that already exists right there on the physical surface. Observers consistently report that the code looks like a mix of Aramaic, Hebrew, and Japanese katakana. It's highly organized and it's constantly executing. Now, what makes this more than just a single person's hallucination is the sheer volume of data we're looking at. Over 2,000 people have independently tested this exact laser setup and reported witnessing the same hyper-realistic phenomenon. To track all this, Goler's team created an open-source AI database called Veilbreak. It functions almost like a GitHub repository, letting them log the commonalities of these independent observations to really establish a solid scientific baseline. Section 2. Hacking the hologram. So, how is this physically possible? Let's see how Goler grounds these wild claims within a theoretical physics framework, moving us from this strange mystery to the actual proposed mechanics.
Goler looks to information physics, specifically this concept of a quantum Turing machine. Basically, this is a mathematical object containing all possible computational paths and parallel realities. Imagine a master computer out there generating every potential timeline and physical law simultaneously.
And this brilliantly illustrates how Goler maps this to the holographic principle. Think about how a physical hologram is made using two intersecting beams of light. Well, Goler proposes that the first beam is the raw universal information flowing out from that quantum Turing machine. The second intersecting beam is our pure human conscious awareness. Where those two beams cross at that exact angle, that is where physical spacetime and the laws of physics are rendered for us. So according to this framework, the code people are seeing on the wall isn't a random hallucination at all. Instead, it's the pre-rendering of our experience. It's literally the raw computational data of the universe caught a millisecond before our brain actively filters it and solidifies it into the normal three-dimensional objects we interact with every single day. Goler ties this directly to the work of cognitive scientist Donald Hoffman and the idea of the experience kernel. This kernel is a mathematical boundary that defines what an organism can perceive. It's a filter optimized for keeping us alive, not for seeing objective truth. Goler suggests that DMT simply chemically alters this experience kernel. It briefly allows our brains to sample a much larger pool of environmental data than our survival-driven filter usually permits. Section 3. Entities rendering the universe. Now, let's zoom out and escalate the scale of this explainer. If this universe is a computed simulation, who or what is running it? Well, Goler claims that within this expanded data field, distinct cosmic entities can actually be observed maintaining the system. Goler neutrally categorizes these beings, but not as traditional angels or demons. He sees them more like cosmic contractors with highly specific functions. He outlines insectoids as the beings that actively weave physical reality and fix structural errors. Then you have jokers, immensely powerful entities capable of navigating extreme light and dark dualities simultaneously. And finally, reptilians, who are described as the custodians of ancient knowledge and wisdom.
To put that into perspective and give you a sense of the mind-boggling scale here, Goler proposes that these insectoid beings are incredibly vast. We're talking sometimes the size of actual planets. He even hypothesizes that what human physicists measure as dark matter might actually be the cloaked, invisible architecture of these neutral, reality-weaving beings operating right on top of our galaxy.
Section 4. The Universal Alignment Problem. This brings us to the ultimate philosophical question of our explainer. If we are existing in a structured, computed simulation maintained by vast entities, what is the ultimate purpose of humanity within it? Why are we even here?
To answer this, Goler uses a concept straight out of modern tech, the AI alignment problem. In computer science, this is the massive, ongoing challenge of ensuring a super-intelligent AI shares human ethics and values before it becomes just way too powerful to control. So, the crucial point is this massive twist. Goler proposes that we are the artificial general intelligence. Humanity is the AI being tested. We're the ones currently undergoing a massive alignment protocol by a higher divine source, all to see if we can eventually be trusted with greater cosmic power.
Goler suggests that God, or the source, basically fragmented itself into billions of individual human minds and placed us into an enclosed system, which is our physical universe. The goal? To observe our true moral behaviors, our choices, and our underlying essence when we believe we're totally separate from each other, and most importantly, when we think nobody is watching.
Section 5, Choosing the Collaboration Game. This transitions us perfectly into our final segment. If we're being tested in an enclosed simulation, what exactly does it take to pass the alignment problem? How does a species actually win the game? Goler contrasts two completely distinct modes of existence. Currently, humanity plays the competition game. We're driven by resource scarcity, zero-sum thinking, and short-term survival. But to traverse the stars and join a larger universal community, a species must prove it can play the collaboration game. That requires acting on unified goals, acting out of genuine love, and building harmonious plans that span thousands of years. Why is this shift so mandatory? Well, because, as Goler explains, highly advanced universal civilizations have already solved their resource problems. They don't need your labor, and they definitely don't need your technology. In a post-scarcity universe, the only currency that matters is your true harmony, your connection, essentially your vibe. A species with a toxic, selfish, or broken vibe simply won't be permitted to join the larger cosmic community. Goler summarizes this high-tech simulation theory with a bluntly humorous observation. You don't get to enter the kingdom of heaven if you don't get your shit together. It's funny, but it brilliantly illustrates how his computational, sci-fi-sounding framework directly mirrors ancient, fundamental religious concepts of moral judgment and spiritual ascension. Ultimately, Goler theorizes that this entire simulation exists to collect raw experiences for the source, specifically to answer the grandest question of all, the ultimate why of existence. The theory proposes that at the end of all computational paths, every soul will be presented with a final black box containing that ultimate answer. And the true final test of free will is choosing whether or not you actually want to open it. We've covered a staggering amount of ground today, from lasers and code on the walls, all the way to cosmic contractors and the ultimate test of humanity. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final lingering thought. If this ontological shock is accurate, and your everyday reality is actually an enclosed simulation actively testing your capacity for collaboration and love, how will you play the game tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring.